Hey guys, it's Chunk, and I'm going to review one of my game four of the finals. We are both undefeated. I am on Boa, OP14, blue yellow, and my opponent is on the OP15 Bell Luffy. I am going second as my opponent won the die roll and he chose to go first. I'm looking to break down my thought process in real time and kind of see places where I can improve and kind of review my own game film. And hopefully that will help you guys as well, kind of take something away or learn something about the current BOA list and the state of BOA. I'm going to be second, like I said, and my opening hand is Borsellino, Kuma, Gecko Moria, Gloriosa, and Hancock. And this is post mulligan, so it's not really too good. However, on the second, I am on the draw, so I do have a chance of finding something useful. And here, I debate on playing the Gloriosa. I end up choosing not to because I'm gambling on what my life would be. And if it is a trigger, it's already there. So there's no point of me losing a 1k counter. So just trying to be mindful of the usage of my cards here. Here, he skipped one, goes 7 on 2, and I take life. It's a Borsellino. Draw for turn, I hit a 5-cost Boa. And then just gonna do the game plan. Gonna play a 4-cost Boa to stack my life, or stack the top of my deck. I see I have a Zoro here. I have a Zoro and a Gloriosa, which is kind of what I want to see, as I have a Gecko in hand. The whole point of this deck, or the gimmick of this deck, is to play defense while triggering bodies. So I do stack the Zoro, and I swing 6. He gives me the counter event. Since I have a Kuma in hand, seeing the Zoro on top is perfect, especially with the Gloriosa, because next turn I can heal the Gloriosa while discarding the 4-cost Zoro. He plays 5. He plays Wiper. He uses the ability to disincentivize me to block with Boa. If I block with Boa, I lose it for free. Here I take the 6 and I trigger. I see a Slave Arrow. I choose not to trigger it because I have my stack exactly the way I want. So the goal here is probably to just play the heal, discard the heal Zoro, and swing at lead. I choose to only swing 5. I don't swing with my blocker because if I turn my blocker sideways and he chases it, I don't have the counter to save it, and even if I did, I would be losing cards for free, as he is incentivized to kill my Boa blocker if it was sideways, because I don't have a Dawn attached to my leader. So I just swing 5, pass, he counters. And here he's thinking, he swings 6 to start. I don't have 2k, so I'm forced to take. I do trigger that Gloriosa, which I know was in the stack. I'm going to draw into a non-counter, which I know already, which is the Boa. And then I'm going to use Gloriosa to swap the top life with Gecko Moria. And I end up seeing a Perfume Femur, which is another brick. Luckily for me, on this 7, he did not have the Nico Robin. And if I'm playing the Gecko here, I'll get to heal. He has 5 Dawn left, so I'm hoping it's not a rusher, but I do get to heal. I draw from my leader effect. And here my discard is a little... 2 options. I have the 9-cost and the 4-cost. I choose to discard the Boa 4-cost because if I trigger another Gecko, I have a body to revive, and I'm not stuck with another brick in hand. That extra body will help me pressure his life, as I have Borsellinos. I can just play a Borsellino and swing out, and that would either get him very low and force him on the defense, or wipe his hand. He ends up having the Rush Luffy, and he attaches the Dawn, so he swings 8, I believe, and I trigger Margaret. I draw for it, and at this point, I'm just looking for counter. I end up finding a Shakiyaku and a Gorgon. I choose the Gorgon, although Shakiyaku might come up more because they can cycle. And here I discard Margaret. I think that's incorrect. I should have definitely discarded the 9-cost, as there's going to be no room to play 9-cost Boa in this matchup. So here I'm on 8 Dawn. I do have a Slave Arrow. I have my blocker, and I have a couple swings. My first swing, I believe I chose at the time 6, because if he takes this 6, I can play pretty aggressive into his life and swing other 6s until he shows me a 2k. And I could potentially get him down to 1 or 2 life. He ends up having the 2K, so I just swing 5. I just swing base numbers at this point. So I swing a 5, and then I swing 7. He takes the 7, of course. He did counter the 5. He didn't want to go to 3, is what it looks like. Or he didn't want to go to 2, potentially even. Here I'm just debating what I should play and how much I should swing with my leader. I'm going to still choose to keep the Boa standing because I'm at 1 life. And I'm highly debating on not playing a blocker Borsalino here. Because I have so many non-counter in hand, I kind of want to cycle out and develop a body that's actually going to pressure his life. Borsalino is not really going to pressure as much because it kind of is going to want to sit as a blocker if I'm in death range. And it has 1k counter. So here I'm going to choose to get him to 3 life by swinging 7. And he kind of can't counter, or he goes to 1 in hand, 2 on the draw. So here I go 7. I'm going to leave the slave arrow up. It's going to help me counter and stay healthy. And I'm going to rest 5. I'm going to debate one more time, but I am going to end up playing the Boa, so I can cycle out my hand and get some bricks out of here. And I think that the cycle Boa is pretty good because of its power. It not only does it cycle and it goes net positive in overall card economy, but it also cycles. And Boa decks end up having a lot of bricks, and it also allows you to counter, or trigger, just like 9-cost Boa does from hand. So it lets you play one of those 5k or less bodies from hand. But here, I'm just going to raw play it. It's a big body. It pressures his life much more than Borsalino does. I do end up drawing a Borsalino and a 4-cost Zoro. I chose to discard the 4-cost Zoro here over the 9-cost Boa because the Boas probably never get played in this matchup, or don't really have time for it because of that Gecko trigger. I don't know what my last life is, so I want to give myself an opportunity to see a good trigger. It's best I have a chance to play around it. Either way, my goal is to live here. And one thing I didn't account for here that I'm looking at is Flame Split. If he had, or maybe it's called Blaze Slice. It's one of those. If he has the Blaze Slice, he can rest my Boa and swing for some pretty big numbers, and I'm pretty low on counter. I do have the Slave Arrow. However, there's no guarantee that saves me. I haven't fully done the math on if I were to lose due to that. But if he had a Rush Luffy plus Blaze Slice, I'm pretty sure I would not be in a good spot. I would probably lose without a good trigger. Instead, he does see the Nico Robin and he chooses to go wide. He does play a heal and then swing 6 at lead. I happily take the 6. I happily counter the 6 because he would get me to 0 if he swung 7 here. No, it looks like I had the counter and the event for it, actually, so I think he couldn't swing 7. But here I choose the Slave Arrow. It's between Kuma, the healer, and the Margaret. I end up choosing the Margaret. Could have been the Zoro, but I wanted to do the Margaret just because, again, that's a card I can play that can cycle me into counter. And since I countered, he did choose to use the Luffy ability. He ends up going 10 at my Zoro. After seeing that his life is going to be a trigger searcher, he chooses to kill my board instead of my life because he knows that he would not get that Shura if I blocked with the Boa. End up drawing. I do see I have a 4-cost Zoro now, and this kind of makes my play pretty easy. There's no way I'm going to 9-cost, but I can double heal here and apply a lot of pressure. I go 6 with lead. He chooses to just take it because he knows he's going to have a trigger that searches him. There's probably a card he's looking for, but me getting the Dawn on my leader is great because if he chooses to kill any of my bodies that are Amazon Lily or Kuja, I will get the draw, or I will take his life. I've had this blocker up the whole game, and there hasn't really been a good opportunity to swing with it, but right after I swing 7 with Kuma, he takes... And it ends up being another Shura trigger. So the first one got him a 2k, the Satori. The second one will get him a 1k. It's going to be the Wiper, the minus 2k to the board. And I'm just going to stick to the game plan here. I'm okay if he clears 2 of my bodies from board, because I'm not going to rest the Boa this turn. I know he has a 2k, and I don't have room to attach any Dawn. I am going to just play Zoro, play a healer, blocker, Borsellino, and pass. That's going to be the old... Getting to 3 life with a double blocker will be enough for me not to lose to his board right now. So here's the Borsellino, and then the 4 cost. Zoro here should discard a 9 cost Boa, as again, there's going to be no time to play that card. And here you see I do. And I heal. And now that he's at 10, we're going to see what he does. My goal here is also to keep this double Borsellino in hand, because I would love to extend the game. I can happily extend the game with another double Borsellino play. Give me another chance to see a Gecko. He chooses to play Wiper. So Wiper is going to reduce the board, my entire board, by 2k. He reveals the yellow event. However, based on his Dawn remaining, if he's going to play Borsellino, he won't be able to. He swings 6 at my Boa, who is now 5k. He makes a quick little error. He attaches an active Dawn. He has 2 Wipers. He meant to attach a rested Dawn. We will correct that here. But he swings 6 into 5. I take. I don't have a 2k to give him, and I'm not going to give him 2 1ks. Here he's realizing the error. And he's pointing at his Wiper. It's not really a problem. It's locals. We're trying to practice, and we want our opponents to play to whatever optimal play they were thinking. So I let him have that. And he uses the second Wiper and attaches to Zoro. So he kind of gives me his game plan already. He's not really swinging beyond base numbers, or not giving himself a chance to swing beyond base numbers. And he's looking to kind of loosen the threats on my board. So he swings 6 at 5 again. Once again, I'm not going to choose to counter that, as I'm low on counter and I don't want him to go face, and I have 2 blockers still standing. He goes 6. That was supposed to be a 7. I trigger Ran. He goes 7. I trigger Gloriosa and I draw. And here with Gloriosa, I choose to use her ability to heal a Gorgon Sisters and swap it in, because I'm looking to pressure his life, as I know I'll be able to play double Borsa the next turn. Also, we made an error here again. He swung with Wiper that he just played, and we're gonna correct it, but he ends up just swinging with Nico Robin's taking that swing. Yeah, here he's telling me he just played it, and I was like, oh yeah, he's correct. So we'll just count the Nico Robin. I took the 6. I'll take a 7k as well. It's not really a big deal yet again. He's gonna swing another 7, and I take. And again, because I know I'd stacked the Gorgon Sisters, this was on purpose. And with the remaining 5 Dawn, he plays Borsellino. So he tries to heal back up. However, his hand is light. And he's shown me, I believe it was 3, maybe 4 2Ks and an event. And in his hand right now, he only has 2 cards. He has 3, but I know one of them is the event. So he can't really use it. So I swing 6 to check to see if he has any 2Ks. Because I do have a lot of 6s coming in with Gorgon Sisters ability. So if he doesn't have a 2k, I am going to be punishing his board or his life. And he takes that. With Gorgon Sisters, playing this Borsellino here is going to be free, as I will be able to attach those 5 Rested Dawn to the remaining characters that can attack. So I play over the Zoro to get him back in trash. And then I use Gorgon. Here I reveal double 1k and a brick, because I kind of want to incentivize him next turn to swing at my life and all in me, as he'll think my hand is weak in counter. However, I finally drew a couple 2Ks, so I might be able to live countering out. I do go another 6 with Ran. That's most likely the body I'm replacing for the second Borsellino, but I don't want to give him my Dawn yet. He takes here. Here, I do make quite the error. I go another 6. He gives me a 2k counter, so his last life was 2k. Here, as we saw earlier, I do have the unblockable event in hand. I could have used unblockable on my leader. That would get me to 8. Use Ran, get me to 9. And then I have 10, 11, 12. Put his 4-card hand down to 3 because we know one of them is not real. However, I choose to just lethal him with numbers after that 6 right there with my leader got me double 1k. Yet again, I can still unblockable with his boa, but I'm not paying attention to it. I realize I have number lethal here when I go 7, and then I just end the game by swinging 11. And as you can see, he just had bricks in hand and a 1k. So that's how I play around Luffy. I tend to just let the bodies trigger from life while setting up as many heals as I can. Hopefully you guys were able to learn something. There was a couple optimizations on my part that could have definitely improved, especially the lethal turn. Thanks for watching.